Hi, my name's Marie, and welcome to Girls Night, the Sim Life Challenge. Now, you may be asking, what is a Sim Life Challenge? And that's a good question, because I just made that concept up. And to best describe it, let me divulge into the premise of this Let's Play. So we'll be following three girls with three drastically different personalities and and lifestyles, and we will be following their journey through university and then some. Right now we are at the lovely Institute of Foxbury, and they're preparing for the start of the fall semester at the moment, but we'll get to see them just in a bit. Now, each girl has their own lifestyle, which is going to be reflected in how I play the sim, or rather my play style of the sim. This is basically the premise of the Life Sim Challenge, imposing a set of rules onto a specific sim to create more dynamic gameplay and storytelling. It's kind of the opposite of challenges like the Not So Berry challenge, where you're just trying to uphold the personality, making sure you get the required skills and traits, then creating an actual character. It will probably make more sense if you see what I'm talking about in motion. So let me start introducing you guys to the household. Side note, this dorm was created by Archie Sims, link in the description. However, I had to do a total redesign of the interior due to my limited selection of Sims DLC, but shout out to them for creating this beautiful build. Right here, we have Bellis Red Fiend. She is a perfectionist, a hothead, and has the jealous trait. She's a very dedicated student, as you can see. Her aspiration, the academic, complements this. I view Bellis as a very thorough person with an extremely hard work ethic. She refuses to quit and get distracted by others. Hence, one of the sim life rules I have for Bellis is called cramming. Whenever Bellis starts a task, be it homework or getting a new skill level, she will cram, basically pushing herself to the absolute limit and will not address her needs until the objective is complete. The only exception to this rule is hunger, but I can only step in when she's on the verge of starving herself. However, despite her dedication and work ethic, Bellis is not in any of the distinguished degree programs at Foxbury. Instead, she is a basic communications major. The reason why is that Bellis didn't actually intend to go to college. Bellis grew up in the trailer parks of Strangerville, causing havoc and heartbreaks throughout the town, but something caused her to want to escape from her hometown. Unfortunately, the damage had already been done to her GPA, so she couldn't be accepted into any of Brightchester's distinguished programs, but Foxbury had an opening for her. I feel she is very resentful of her quote-unquote trashy past, which you can see in the formality and professionalism she presents herself with. She doesn't want those around her to get down to her level. However, how she handles that is not professional, to say the least. So another rule for Bellis is titled living up to her standards. If Bellis sees someone she's close to not match her high standards, she will get into either a screaming match with them or obtain some kind of negative relationship with that friend. These standards are subjective, so it can be anything, big or small. This is kind of why I view Bellis sometimes as a Karen. So yeah, next up is Debbie Dello. Out of the three girls, Debbie is so far my favorite. She is super sociable, at the same time very chill and considerate. I just love her, and I think she's going to take us on a lot of fun adventures. Plus, she's so cute. She has the party animal aspiration and is enrolled in the distinguished biology major, though she nearly didn't make the cut. Fortunately, Debbie has a lot of first-hand experience and has an effective thought process where she'll break things down and realize the logic and connections that led to a specific outcome. This is why she's such a great people person. She is very well in tune to the feelings of others and can understand how people came to specific conclusions or beliefs. For her traits, she has the active, foodie and bro trait. Now, we're going to see the conflict between her active side and foodie side play out over the course of this LP. Her sim life challenge is called Health Kick or Binge. So every session I flip a coin to see if Debbie goes on a health kick, where she eats healthy and exercises all the time, or a food bender and slashes around all day. There are reasons behind this behavior, but that's for another time. At least for today, Debbie is on a health kick, most likely because of the new surroundings, new environment, all that new jazz. I can see Debbie becoming the soul of the group with good reason. A few days before the term start, I envisioned there being a sort of welcome week for the freshmen, similar to most colleges. And last night, the girls went out partying at a local pub, and it was the first time they truly got to know each other. And I think Debbie thought to herself that that night at the bar was a great way to get everyone together and connected. So Debbie is in charge of girls' night, which means every Friday she's responsible for taking the girls out on some kind of outing, be it a party or just chilling in front of a TV. So hopefully Debbie tries her best to be the glue to keep these roomies together. Finally, we have Claire Bluebell. She is a genius, a romantic, and has the non-committal trait. Currently, her aspiration is the Renaissance sim, emphasis on currently. To best explain her sim life challenge, it's best to go completely divulge her backstory to you guys. So Claire was born to a wealthy couple in San Myshuno. At an early age, Claire showed great potential as she quickly maxed out all of the toddler skills. However, when she aged into a child, her parents placed heavy restrictions on her. So no friends, no parties, not even a friendly hug, just studying and only studying. However, her parents' definition of studying was just doing purely homework and not skill building at all. As a result, Claire lost a lot of her previous built skills. Though Claire is a natural born genius and she has the most successful school life out of her roommates, her homework skills will most likely not help her if she doesn't gain some skills. Additionally, Claire's childhood left her with a host of commitment issues. On the other hand, Claire views her non-commitment as a form of self-control where she can freely do what she pleases without the restraint of her parents. For this reason, every recording session, I will roll a wheel to determine Claire's objective for that season. It can be her focusing on a specific aspiration, or a career, or a club. It could be even relationship oriented, or just anything in general that would be the goal of her session, you know? If you have any suggestions, you can comment them down below. I would very much appreciate it. Claire also desires to live every moment to the fullest. So her other sim life challenge is called Every Day is Whim Day. These names, I'm proud of them, but I'm not at the same time, where I will lock in every whim she has and try to complete them to the best of my ability. With that being said, let me show you guys what their first night at the dorm was like. So we have Bellis here. I think she was playing a video game or something. However, I think she's feeling very tense because she's kind of putting off doing her homework, and she's like, I have to finish everything right now, tonight. And she's gonna head out to the balcony porch balcony area to do her homework. Now, at the same time, she is starting to feel hungry. However, like I said, Bellis crams, and I thought it was a very nice image that here's Bellis cramming all of her homework while she's also staring at food when she's starting to become hungry. Now we have Claire right here. Claire had a whim to go learn the violin skill, and you guys do not want to hear the audio of what she was playing. It sounded terrible, and I love Claire, but she cannot play that violin very well. But yeah, she had a whim to start learning the violin skill. Since, she has that Renaissance aspiration at the moment. However, one thing that Claire wants to start doing, however, is that, oh, sorry for the camera jump. Claire actually wants to start becoming financially independent, and this is kind of part of her grand plan to finally detach herself from her family. So she's starting off economically, and here I am trying to address her needs and whatnot. You got a small glimpse of their bedroom over there, which I'm very proud of. I'm very proud of how I refurbished this dorm. So yeah, right now Claire is going to become a babysitter, so she's going to work on the weekends. We're going to see how well she is able to keep up with that job. Debbie over here, she's trying to finish up her homework, and she's also getting acquainted with the roommates as well. And yeah, and one of them is just doing push-ups. But yeah, her plan is to first become financially independent, so she's trying to make her own cash, which is good, because if you look down at the bottom, we only have like 1,000 simoleons, so money's tight. Money is very tight, and later on down the line, I buy them bicycles, because Foxbury is so hard to traverse, and yeah, they're very stripped for cash. All of them kind of, I would say Debbie at home, her parents, like, Debbie can obviously get money from her parents if things go wrong, and so does Claire, but they don't want to. We're back here to Bella's trying to finish up her homework, and there's kind of a jump skip to her finally completing it and eating dinner with the rest of the roommates. I don't know, Bells hasn't like really introduced herself to any of the roommates. She's just kind of keeping to herself. She's just like, I think she doesn't really care for the other people in her dorm just yet. I think like she might open up to introduce herself to the other roommates as time goes on, but right now she's still trying to deal with her growing anger because she's so tired from doing all of her homework. But I think she's also a little bit there's some happiness there, and she's a bit happy about getting that homework done. But yeah, so the girls are now starting to head to sleep, and we'll touch base with them in the morning. So we have Debbie right here. She's having her breakfast. Claire did wake up first, and she's somewhere. I forget what she's doing at the moment. I think she's still learning the violin, or no, she's still eating. But I wanted to start off with Debbie right here because she's so cute. She's so cute. So we have the start of the semester up here. So the girls' first semester is basically going to last a week, and here I am just trying to get everyone prepared for the impending chaos that is trying to coordinate everyone getting to their classes. Also, unfortunately, Debbie and Claire didn't complete all of their homework, unlike Bellis, who has everything done. But Bellis she only has one class today, whereas Debbie and Claire have two. So, yeah, we're going to be dealing with, off screen, I'm going to be dealing with the chaos of trying to get all of the girls to their classes on time, which it was something. But yeah, so I'll come back to you guys once they've finished up their classes. It's a little bit later in the day, but here's Bellis. She's still finishing up her homework, and I just wanted to take a moment to just admire her hair. That's all. But yeah, she's still trying to finish up some homework for tomorrow. Tomorrow she has 2 classes, but today she is just, trying to get all that homework done so she's prepared, so she doesn't get kind of lost, get behind, which is starting to happen with Debbie and Claire, but Claire doesn't really care about that right now. I think Debbie does, having trouble trying to keep up with everything. So later on in the afternoon, Claire and Debbie go to the common ground short for a little bit, just kind of to start a little bit of their homework before their afternoon classes start. Bellis is at class right now. I think Claire probably texted Bellis telling them that they're at the common grounds, and I'm trying to make them all do their homework together, get Debbie and Claire to do their homework together. And I think she's a little bit worried because of, she did okay in class, but she's a little bit worried since she is behind on her homework and she's about to go to her next class and it's starting to get to her. And I think Claire is starting to notice the anxiety in Debbie. Like, she seems to be happy right now, like she's energized, but like there's sort of a sense of worry as well. And I think Claire also texts that to Bellis, like, hey, Debbie seems, I wouldn't say would be like direct, a little bit more cryptic, but kind of something like Debbie seems to be a little bit upset right now, from homework, or so she got like a big brain, Bellis, can you please help Debbie? Something along those lines. But yeah, I'm trying to get their homework finished and also try and get Debbie to eat something. However, I wasn't able to do so because our classes started pretty quickly. And Debbie's, she's doing her homework, but she looks very worried, and Claire is just trying to cheer her up, like, or get to her is trying to cheer her up a bit and ask her, like, professors, it's the first week, so the professors should be lenient with you, and if you don't feel that way, then just talk to him about it. And Debbie's like, yeah, I guess so. I'm just a little bit hung up on the homework of it all. I should have studied more. And Claire's like, you can only do what you can do in the moment, so don't regret it that much. We still have 6 more days, or we still have a week's worth of school left. And yeah, you shouldn't be caught up on all of those small things, especially on the first day. It's everyone's first day, to be honest, even the professors. So yeah, Claire giving some words of advice to Debbie, and I think Debbie hears it, but she's still a little bit hung up on some of her homework, and she really wants to get things done. And like, it's almost like one thing goes through her here, but it doesn't come out the other side. Is that the metaphor? I'm really bad with just remembering cultural. I don't know what I'm saying at this point. But yeah, so Claire's probably texting Bellis and telling her, like, hey, Debbie seems to be a little bit caught up on homework right now. Could you help her out? Something along those lines. I have to go to class. Debbie will probably be back before I am, so can you cheer her up a bit? And Bellis is like, I think Bellis wants to help out. I think she feels invigorated because she got that message to, help Debbie. Like, she doesn't have super expectations of Debbie just yet. She just knows that, like, she's her roommate and she should obviously help her. It's not like they've only known each other for maybe like 3 to 4 days at this point. It's not like they've known each other for the whole semester. So Debbie's chilling out in the common grounds, eating her salad, and there's a group of people in the commons right now, and I think Bellis is asking about, like, what's this gathering for, that was Debbie. So Bellis is asking, what are you guys here for? She's just just asking around. She talks to this one guy who tells her that there's an upcoming event for the Brainiacs, who are kind of the mega study group of Roxbury, and Bellis for sure wants to get into that group. I think the second he tells her that they're a study group, she's like, I need to be in there. But I think also she also wants to bring Debbie along, and Claire too. She probably think, just bring the roomies together, but mostly she also wants to use this as an opportunity to help out Debbie, who's having trouble with homework, or keeping up the pace with homework at the moment. So, yeah, Claire is talking to this guy, and he's explaining to her about, the Brainiacs, and how they're going to have an event at the library this evening. And Bella's the second he gives her enough information about what's going on, the second she gets her information, she kind of just leaves him alone. She also, while she's at the Commons, I make her take a shower, probably to prepare herself before the event. And there goes Debbie on her bicycle. Oh, she's so cute on her bicycle, which I bought earlier in the morning. But yeah, so the two of them actually are going to both take a shower, since they are starting to feel a little bit funky, and why not take it here of all things. But because they get to share the shower room together in a brief moment, and while they're showering, I think Bellis is telling Debbie about the Brainiacs, the Brainiacs are holding an event at the library today. We should go. And Debbie's like, okay, that would sound like good fun. We should bring Claire as well. And Debbie's like, Bellis agrees, and they're sort of coming up with plans and everything. So I think once Claire gets out, they're going to go to the library. And it seems that Debbie's pretty excited to go to the Brainiacs, probably because she wants to have that extra help with her homework. And Bellis is excited because she wants to get into that club or organization. So yeah, they're gonna head over to the library. I forget what the library is called in Brightchester, but they're gonna head over to that library and get to know the Brainiacs. And Debbie is very happy that Bellis, is doing this for her. And Bellis is just happy that she's gonna go meet some powerful or some other intellectuals and that jazz. So we're gonna jump forward to them at the library. So we're at Laurel Library, and the three of them all kind of split off and do their own things. Bellis immediately meets starts talking to this woman who I think is in charge of the organization. Claire talks with the other members of the Brainiacs. I think they might be interested in Claire joining the Brainiacs, but Claire is kind of indifferent to the idea. But she is talking up to one of these guys in the Brainiacs. He's also in her dorm, so she's probably talking to him, asking hey, you're one of the you're one of the people living in my dorm, right? And striking up a casual conversation about life at the dorms and stuff like that, and possibly some tea going on in the dorms themselves, which it's been one day, so there isn't much. So they're just making common talk. Now Debbie over here, she's going to talk to another, I forget what his name is, but she talked to him earlier, so I think while she's doing her homework, and she sees a familiar face, so she's just going to strike up another casual conversation, get to know this guy, ask him about what his degree is. She wants to get to know wants to get to know the people in her dorm, along with her roommates. So Blair is trying to she's trying to schmooze her way into getting the Brainiacs, and she's talking to this woman who I think is in charge. I would say that she's in charge of the organization right here, and she's probably talking to another member as well. She's just trying to like butter her way up. That's so. Oh my god, I can't talk right now. She's trying her best to get into the Brainiacs. Right there, Debbie just learned what major that roommate was a part of. And Claire is trying to get, they came here for homework, so everyone's trying to like get their homework done, except for Bellis, because Bellis knows that she has her homework done. She just wants to be a part of this like exclusive study group, which is most prestigious at Foxbury, and she wants to get all of that like insider stuff and yeah. So she's making conversation with these members. One of them is probably, I think, what's her name? Mikona? I can't read her name at the moment. But I think she's talking to like the president of the Brainiacs and probably one of the, maybe the treasurer or the vice president. Now, also, Claire had a wish to play cards with someone, and I think she's going to go play cards with this one dude and the librarian of this library, and she's going to use the opportunity to play some card games on this Go Gamble table. Basically, this table which did not exist maybe a couple of minutes ago. But yay, Belle's got accepted into the Brainiacs, and she's all excited about it. She got a poster, and now she's going to start doing her homework, of course, because this is the Brainiacs after all. She has to, she can't just join a prestigious study group and not do her homework. So she's going to do her homework. Debbie's also finishing her homework, and she's having a pleasant conversation. Claire's almost about to finish her homework, but yeah, she's going to go play cards with some of the people, with that one dorm mate and the librarian at this table, which may or may not had existed a few seconds ago. So yeah, and Debbie's getting to know this one guy, Joseph, okay. She's getting to know Joseph, and he seems like an interesting dorm mate. I think he was going into computer science, which they was like, oh, that's cool. So Claire is playing this game of cards with the librarian and this dorm mate, who I can't remember his name. She is a little bit stinky, but that's because she's on her period right now, and I didn't have to. No, she isn't. No, she's just having low hygiene at the moment. So Bellis and Debbie, they're doing their homework, and Bellis is probably not Bellis. Debbie is trying to introduce Bellis to Joseph and be like, oh, hey, this is Joseph. He's one of our dorm mates. He's been helping me out do the homework here. I think he's also part of the Brainiacs as well, but Bellis is kind of just like, yeah, whatever. She's just trying to get her homework done at the moment. And I think she's very happy that she got into the Brainiacs, so she's kind of like on autopilot for a moment. But they're all doing their homework, and Debbie, she's enjoying herself, and she enjoys the fact that, she's not alone doing her homework, which, well, she's not alone doing her homework, and yeah. So I'm just checking to see who their professors are, and all that jazz, and yeah, because I thought I saw one of their professors, and so Bellis, while she's working in the library, while she's studying in the library, she notices her professor going to the library, and I think Bellis is going to step away from the conversation going on at the table right now with Debbie and Joseph and go talk to her professor, because I think she wants to schmooze it up with her as well and, get to know her professor. Well, Bellis is still, not Bellis. Oh my god, I'm just confusing Bellis and Debbie's name, like, this entire recording. But Claire is going to now join Debbie in her studying. Joseph is going to start taking off, and now Claire and Debbie are kind of like, I think the event's over at this point, so now it's just like Claire and Debbie and Bellis, hanging out in the library late at night. But Claire is just checking in on Debbie and asking her, how do you feel now? How's that homework coming along? And Debbie feels a little bit more confident. She's like, I'm still getting a good amount of my homework done. There's still a lot to go, but I feel a little bit better that I got to talk it out with someone while I'm doing it. And Claire's happy for her. She says, I'm not really keen on homework myself, but it's something we have to do that since we're at college. I prefer more the skill building side of it, not necessarily the paperwork side of it. So Bella's here. She's trying to get to know her professor, and her professor's a bit of a curmudgeon. She's very grumpy, and she's probably a little bit irritated because Bellis is distracting her. She's probably trying to grade some homework. Her professor's probably trying to grade some homework, and here Bellis is trying to, get to know her, and she's asking about her grades, and her professor's like, it's the first day, I can't tell you what you're, you can't expect me to have your whole grade GPA determined by the first day. And Bellis is kind of just going to walk away for now because she sees that her professor's tense. But back to Debbie and Claire. They're talking, they're getting their homework done. They are getting to know the librarian here. He's a nice fellow, he's a cute guy. And they're all together and they're just talking about their first day at college. Bellis was like, my day was a breeze, had the homework all completed and that jazz. Debbie feels a little bit better, though. She feels that even though she had wrong footing, she's feeling better about it. Claire's, she's Claire. She feels that it was an okay day, and, so long as she got to learn what she wanted to learn, that's what matters to her, and she's doing that. She's learning the necessary skills. So yeah, they're all chatting it up, and though their day, for some of them, wasn't, the perfect first day, they have each other, and, they make each other feel better about themselves, and, I think that's going to be important, that this friend group kind of pulls them through their bad moments.
With that being said, thank you for watching this video. Comment your thoughts or anything else. But yeah, I very much appreciate you or whoever decided to take their time to watch this video. Bye!